Hello everybody, Hassan here, engineer, MBA, and investor. And today's video, I want to talk about rights law. I want to talk about why rights law is so important when it comes to genomics. Companies like CRISPR Therapeutics and all these companies in CRISPR are all prone to the idea of rights law in this field, in biotech, in genomics. I want to talk about all of that in this video. Before we do that, like this video, smash the like button, destroy that like button. If you're not subscribed yet, consider subscribing, hit the notification bell if you want to get our videos faster. So this is a webpage from ARK Invest, right? What is right law? And they go over rights law, right? So it was obviously named by an individual in the 20th century. And basically what it means is that for every cumulative doubling units produced, costs will fall by a constant percentage. Now, that constant percentage that the cost will fall, that is variable depending on which industry, depending on what we're talking about. In fact, there is a formula. There is a formula that is posted here, rights law formula. So you have Y, A, capital X, and B. And basically your Y is your cost per unit. That's the value you're trying to look for. You have your A, which is your cost required to produce your first unit. And then you want to multiply that by your large X, which is the cumulative number of units produced. And then you want to put the exponential there, B, with a slope of function. Now, when you look at that, you're like, well, wouldn't Y become bigger? Wouldn't the cost then become bigger as we multiply these two values? Not exactly, right? B here, the variable B, slope of function, this is actually a negative function, right? When you have a negative function, this value actually becomes smaller. And when you multiply your first cost to produce the first unit, multiply by a small value, basically less than 1, then basically this Y value will always be lower than your A value, which is the first value cost to produce the first unit, right? And they actually do this exercise here with the lithium battery cost, which again, we won't go into details here. This is for lithium battery. But the point here is that genomics does have an aspect of right law that you can apply, right? And this is actually shown in the Big Ideas 2022 report that I will not show in today's video because that's not what I'm going to show. But I do want to show you guys this graph here, right? The cost of sequencing a full human genome from 2001 to 2021, right? If you draw out the log graph, right? Not linear, log graph, you can clearly see the value from the y-axis being the cost to sequence a full human genome. And then you go all the way to 2021, you can clearly see it's well below $1,000. Actually, I think it's about $300 to $400, I think, at this point. Again, Big Ideas 2022 report from ARK Invest did disclose that value. There's a bunch of resources that you can use to check that value. But basically, the lesson here to be learned is that the rights law is literally in effect here, right? You can clearly see the cost in 2001 to sequence a full human genome all the way to 2021 clearly has decreased on orders of magnitude, right? And that is exactly what the industry needed. And if I switch over to this picture here, again, something similar to the last one, but this image basically now is representing same time period, 2001 to 2021, but now it's the number of human genome base pairs sequenced per dollar US, right? For $1 in US, $1, how many pairs of human genome base pairs can you sequence, right? And clearly you can see here in 2001, it was close to 0 at this point. And now in 2021, we're going well over 100 millions, right? So what am I trying to show you guys, right? What am I trying to show you guys with these two graphs, right? The point here is that genomics as a whole, the whole field here is getting less expensive to enter. Barriers of entry are going lower because cost is decreasing. We know with different regulations, with Cures 2.0 Act bill that is set to be passed, bipartisan bill in US, that will also decrease cost and significantly decrease delays from the FDA to approve these genome editing therapies, including companies in the CRISPR space. So now we just explored the idea of the rights law. We saw how it's being used in genomics, clearly from those two graphs that we just showed you, including this one right now that I'm seeing. And the point here is that we have a huge opportunity in genomics, right? As you decrease the cost, you increase the number of entries, number of players in the space, you increase competition, you further decrease costs, because when there's a lot of competition, you want to provide the best product at the best price to your customers. In this case, we're talking about sequencing human genome, but eventually this will sprawl out to genome editing therapies. We know Victoria Gray, which is the first patient that was ever dosed and potentially cured from sickle cell disease from CTI-001, actually her therapy actually cost about $2 million, if I'm correct, $2 million. We cannot have that in this space, right? We cannot have that. Now, the good news is that was a few years ago, right? That figure started a few years ago. The whole process started a few years ago. Today, that figure is way below 2 million, but it's still at an unacceptable figure. The point here I'm making is in the upcoming years, we will have a huge revolution in genomics. Costs will decline, more entries, more players, and we're just basically using rights law to predict this type of behavior. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Do you think I'm wrong using the rights law? Do you think ARK Invest is wrong by using the rights law and using it in genomics? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful night. Do like this video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much.